I'm going to tell you the best and worst cleansers for oily, acne-prone skin. I've investigated every cleanser on the market, from the cheapest drugstore ones to the most viral TikTok cleansers to the Korean favorites and even ultra luxury brands. And here's the truth. Most of them do not do what they promised. This video will save you thousands of pounds and potentially years of breakouts. This channel is completely non-sponsored. I don't take payments from any brands ever. I don't take freebies, so you get real evidence-based information. So if you want to save money and have the best skin of your life, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because don't forget, I'm in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every YouTube video. That means that when you subscribe, you know when I'm here and you can come and ask me your skincare questions. It also means you get to join our YouTube community and ask each other questions. I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan, a medically qualified doctor and a cosmetic formulator for skin of color. Let's dive right in.
So the first one that I love was Pore Normalizing Cleanser from Paula's Choice. Now, Paula's Choice, just generally, I love the brand. Majority of the products are great for skin of color. And I know a lot of you asked me to do videos on Paula's Choice. The problem is, have you seen Paula's Choice range? I mean, how would I make a video on that? It feels like there's hundreds of products. So if you've got an intelligent way of helping me, make a video on that, maybe, I don't know, by trying to treat a problem or find a solution, or I don't know, but just generally speaking, Paula's Choice is very good because they don't add fragrance into their products. They don't add essential oils. It's very much a scientific based brand, which I absolutely love. And there's knowledge behind every single ingredient that's going into those products. So a cost benefit analysis done. And that is important. It's important not just to pander to consumer demand. Oh, something should smell fruity, but it's not good for your skin. So I am a firm believer in obviously science over everything else. Okay, so let's talk about this particular product, Pore Normalizing Cleanser. So it's a hydrating cleanser, but it's also got BHA, your salicylic acid, which is basically the best exfoliator for us, and specifically for oily skin. Don't forget, it penetrates into the pore and almost unclogs that pore, which is exactly what we want. So they didn't fall into the classic traps, which you will find. So there's no AHAs in this particular product. There's no witch hazel. There's no denatured alcohol. There's no fragrance. There's no essential oils. It's excellent. In addition, the surfactants that they've used are quite gentle. So here they've got sodium lauryl sarcosinate and they've got sodium laureth sulfate. Don't forget, not sodium lauryl sulfate, sodium laureth sulfate, which is gentle for our skin. It's also quite a hydrating product. So it's got moisturizers such as arginine, butylene glycol, and glycerin in it as well, which is excellent. So it's a very simple formula, but I love it. And if I had oily prone skin, or any of my friends do, this is the one that I would recommend.
Moving on to Heartleaf Pore Deep Cleansing Foam. Oh, do you know what? I need scissors or something. Okay, so that's okay. So the first ingredient in here is Houtenia extract. Again, what you find is this then becomes a signature. The inky list, ingredients list, become a signature to that particular cosmetic formulator. So having Houtenia extract, for example, as the first ingredient means that the cosmetic formulator that made this particular range loves this particular ingredient, and I like it too. And what happens is you then buy it in bulk. When you buy it in bulk, it becomes cheaper. Even when I formulate for my brand, Skincare by Dr. V, for example, one of the ingredients I love is retinaldehyde. It works 10 times faster than retinol. I put it in all my serums. I put it even in the body oil, for example. And why is that? Because if I buy it in bulk, it turns out to be cheaper. And so then that becomes part of my signature formula. And that's what's happening here as well. So second ingredient in here is glycerin, which is excellent actually because it is also a humectant, holds water in the top layer of skin. And then they've got sodium cocoyl glycinate, which is the main surfactant in this. It's quite a gentle surfactant. Okay, so it comes out of that. Okay, so they've also put in here salicylic acid, so at about 0.5%, but they've put in glycerol stearate SE, and that's 3 out of 5 on the comedogenic scale, which is a problem because if this is for pore cleansing, you're trying to get into the pore. You do not want to clog the pore. You have to be very careful to make sure that any ingredient you put in here is not going to do the reverse of what you're trying to do. Oh no, they added fragrance and it's pretty strong. Oh, that's annoying. So fragrance means that this product is not a safe product because it contains fragrance. Some of you might be asking, Dr. V, what's the big deal with fragrance? Fragrance leads to contact dermatitis in 3 to 4% of the population. Contact dermatitis leads to a damaged skin barrier, irritation, inflammation, and then hyperpigmentation. And for skin of color, we cannot afford anything that's going to irritate our skin. And what may also happen is it might not irritate immediately. It may happen years later. It may suddenly become sensitized to fragrance, which is a very well-known allergen. And that's why for skin of color, we should avoid fragrance in all of our skincare. I'm happy for you to go and put your Sol de Janeiro on your actual clothes or whatever fragrance you love on your clothes, but just avoid it on your skin. And that also includes your shampoos. Your scalp is also is skin, and the health of your scalp will determine the health of your hair. So again, with shampoos, avoid fragrance. So for me, unfortunately, this is not an approved product. But the pore minimizing deep cleansing foam. I actually really like this pink packaging. I think it's so cute. Okay, let's get the security seal off. And I'll tell you what it looks like. Ooh, comes out very thick. Nice. Woo! That is so satisfying. I love it. It's so nice. Okay, let me tell you what's in this product. This product is a disaster. This product is meant to minimize pores, right? Pore minimizing. The first ingredient in this product is myristic acid, which is 3 out of 5 on the comedogenic scale. It's basically the worst surfactant you can use. They put in stearic acid, lauric acid. Stearic acid is 3 out of 5 on the comedogenic scale. Lauric acid is 4 out of 5 on the comedogenic scale. And then the surfactant that they used was sodium C14 to 16 sulfonate, which is very harsh, which is actually the opposite of what we want to be doing for pore minimizing. We want to hydrate, hydrate, hydrate in order for the skin to almost become plumper around the pore to give the impression that the pore is smaller. So this, I don't know who formulated this, but this was a different formulator to whoever formulated the rest of the range. This product is a disaster. This product, please just avoid. So next is a very interesting product. It's the Volcanic BHA Pore Cleansing Foam. And I can totally see that if you have large pores or you have oily acne-prone skin, this is going to be a really attractive product for you. Just give me 5 minutes, I'll be back. Victor. And we are in. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. It's actually not what I expected. It's come out quite a light color. How does it feel on the skin? It's very thick and heavy on the skin. Interesting. You know, cleansers usually in the West don't come out like this. They don't come out so thick and gloopy. Let's have a look at the ingredients list. So the claim is it will feel good on oily skin. And that makes sense because in here they've put in kaolin. So kaolin is your clay. It's very absorbent of oil. Plus they put in glycerin, which I love because glycerin is your humectant. So putting the two together is beautiful because you don't want to overly dry the skin with a clay mask or a clay wash. So that's genius. They've also put in here the two surfactants that I don't like is your myristic acid and lauric acid. So as we discussed, these are comedogenic ingredients. Now imagine you're formulating a product for oily acne-prone skin and then the surfactants you choose clog pores. It just doesn't make any sense. And I think the reason they've done it is, I've spoken about this in other videos, is because the cosmetic formulator themselves have their own signature. They have their own favorite ingredients. So for me, for example, my favorite ingredient is retinaldehyde. And retinaldehyde is a form of vitamin A. It works 10 times faster than retinol, but with zero irritation, which is why I love, love, love it for skin of color. So guess what? I buy retinaldehyde in bulk and I put it in every product I can possibly put it into. I put it into the body oil, for example. I put it into your serums at nighttime. I put it into every product I can because I buy it in bulk and I love it so much. Now, if you choose an ingredient that is not so great for the skin, especially skin of color, and then you buy it in bulk and you put it in everything, it sort of is like making a mistake that goes across the board. You can either do a good thing that goes across the board or a bad thing that goes across the board. And unfortunately, they've picked surfactants that are not really great for anybody. But again, for skin of color, it's a bigger problem because guess what? If you clog your pores, what happens is, number one, you actually get pigmentation at the bottom of the pore. So that leads to your pores looking bigger and more obvious. But number two, if you now clog the pores and get spots, that can also lead to hyperpigmentation. So we kind of get a double whammy situation. And this is why we have to be so educated and empowered when it comes to our skincare. So in case I haven't done a video on a product for you, you yourself will be able to read at the back of the ingredients list, is this good for me or is it not good for me? The one good thing they have put in here is actually the BHA. So BHA is your salicylic acid. It's a fat-soluble acid. However, I would say that this is less than 1%, which is not ideal if you're creating a face wash that is for oily acne-prone skin. I think 1% is what we should be going for. And the other big disaster is they put in fragrance. So unfortunately, this is another hard no product.
So the next product is the Cerave Foaming Cleanser. And again, I love this product. So, go and buy this one, definitely. So the positives are the moisturizers, a ton of moisturizers. They've got glycerin, they've got propylene glycol, they've got caprylyl glycol. They've also got a sodium hyaluronate, which is a cousin of hyaluronic acid. So it's got great moisturizers in it. It's got very mild surfactants in it. So it's got cocoa betaine, and it's also got sodium cocoyl glycinate in it too. So again, very mild surfactants. This is great for oily to normal skin. It's non-comedogenic, so it's great for even acne-prone skin. It's great for inflamed skin. There's no essential oils, no fragrance, no irritants, no sensitizers. They're getting the basics right. And I love this about the Cerave brand. I mean, if you've watched my videos on Estee Lauder or L'Oreal or, the more expensive brands, they're not getting the basics right, which is this. If you can get, there's no point going into more complex formulations until you get the basics right. And that means the percentage of humectants, the percentage of emollients, the fact that you shouldn't be using essential oils, you shouldn't be using fragrance. I do believe that they are, well, I know they're watching my videos because they do message me, and they will be coming out with fragrance-free lines in the future. But for now, I'm absolutely loving Cerave, and I recommend it actually in a lot of my videos for skin of color. The second ingredient of the anti-blemish cleansing foam is denatured alcohol. Now, denatured alcohol, is a solvent. That's the reason for existing. But actually in skincare, it's just not a good thing to use, because the second it hits your skin, it starts to destroy the top layer of skin. I don't know if you've heard, but they'll say denatured alcohol means better penetration of ingredients. The problem is the way this happens is that it almost rips apart the skin and then shoves in the active. So that ripping apart of the skin is more destructive than whichever active you're trying to get into the skin. So honestly, it's just, you really should avoid denatured alcohol in all your skincare. So have a look at the back of all the packaging of your creams and lotions and face foaming washers to make sure that's just not in it. If you're asking why is it so bad to be damaging the top layer of skin, is because it leads to premature aging as well as irritation. Premature aging happens slowly. You don't see it happening, but it's something we all want to avoid. So if you're looking for a reason to not wear denatured alcohol, that's the reason. I like the third ingredient is salicylic acid, which means it's probably at about 2%. So don't forget, when you go down that inky list and you go down the ingredients list, it's in descending order of percentage in the product. In this product, it looks at about 2%. I'm a chemical formulator, and that's why it's easy for me to be able to do. But that's really why I'm making these videos. So to almost translate what the inky list and the ingredients list means for skin of color. Right, so salicylic acid is great because it basically unclogs the pores. It's good for acne prone skin. I mean, I would recommend it for everybody with acne, oily prone skin. I've made a whole video on acne and how to look after your skin when you've got oily prone skin, and salicylic acid 2% is just staple. Now, the sixth ingredient is witch hazel. Now, witch hazel is a bit of a cheap trick. What it does is it's got tannins in it, which is an antioxidant. Those tannins lead to a drying effect of the skin. And so anyone with an oily slick on the skin, they love that feeling of almost like squeaky clean. The problem is that witch hazels are actually distilled with alcohol. So you're going to have alcohol in this product, number one. But number two, when you do that, you're actually encouraging your skin to produce more oil. And so you end up in this vicious cycle. Witch hazel can lead to sensitivity of the skin as well. It's just something actually you want to avoid, but you're going to find it actually in a lot of acne kits. So just be careful when you purchase the kit to make sure it doesn't have witch hazel in it, because you just end up in this vicious cycle and you think you're doing a good thing because you're stripping the skin, but you don't realize actually you're aggravating the oiliness and you're encouraging more oiliness and you're encouraging more breakouts in the future. So it's just not even worth it. The next product is Cetaphil Oily Skin Cleanser. I was quite surprised because don't forget, acne-prone skin is inflamed skin. That's what free fatty acids are doing to your skin, is inflaming the skin. And so the positives here are, they've got glycerin, it's got butylene glycol, it's also got sodium lauryl sulfate, so it's a more gentle surfactant, which is good. It's got sodium lauryl sarcosinate, which is non-irritating, is non-sensitizing up to about 15% on a wash-off product. So again, it seems fine. But then they went and added 7 fragrances. I'm sure you already know this because I'm hoping you've watched a few of my videos by now, but fragrance is the number one cause of contact dermatitis. It is a co-sensitizer. So after years of wearing it, you can start getting reactions, and then reactions also to the other ingredients in that particular product. So I know it's a wash off because it's a cleanser, but I mean, it's just unnecessary. It's got amyl cinnamol in it. It's got benzoyl benzoate in it. It's got citronellol. It's got geraniol. It's got linalool. It's got perfume. Like they literally, it's like a whole perfume shop, I think, and that's one product. So I don't know, it's just strange. Like, why? You know, the product's not going to smell bad with all the ingredients that they've actually chosen. It's actually just pandering to consumers, but consumers want the best for their skin, you know, and that's why people want to get educated. That's why you guys are hopefully watching this channel, is to learn what's best for your skin. So I do think it will change. I do think there'll be more fragrance-free lines as more brands watch our channels, but right now I don't really know why they made this decision. Okay, so the next product here is a special cleansing gel. So the marketing here says anti-inflammatory balm mint and lavender extracts soothe your skin. This is a contradiction. This is a bit of a marketing trick. When they say mint is, you know, refreshing and you feel like, you know, the same feeling when you get toothpaste, actually the skin is very different and you are irritating the skin by putting mint on the skin. It's a skin sensitizer. Same with lavender. So the marketing is sort of where it lets you down. So on here it says Melissa officinalis. Now this is the same as mint. Unfortunately, the ingredients don't often tell you exactly what it is, you know, something that we can recognize. So just look out for that word. And again, I would avoid this product. It's a clarifying cleanser. It's AHA, BHA, triple acid cream cleanser. So number one thing I'm going to tell you is make sure you buy the unscented version. There is a scented version that everyone with skin of color really should avoid because it's the number one cause of contact dermatitis. But I love the fact that they have an unscented version. I think that means that they're listening to their consumer, which is excellent. Now it has 4% glycolic and 2% BHA. And I know you're sitting there thinking, Dr. V's going to hate this. She's not going to like it. But actually 4% glycolic acid is fine for skin of color. If you watch my glycolic acid video, I highly recommend you watch it because glycolic acid is my least favorite AHA, but there are circumstances where I think it's worth using. And there are also circumstances that we should avoid it. So, you know, it's not like Dr. V is against glycolic acid. That's absolutely not the case. It is my least favorite AHA because obviously my favorite would be mandelic acid. And I actually quite like lactic acid too. But glycolic acid has its place in skincare. So I highly recommend you watch that video. Actually, I quite like this. It's less than 5% and I don't think it's going to cause issues for skin of color. I just think you need to make sure you use the unscented version of this product. So the next product was, this is the 3-in-1 Clay Pure Active. I feel bad saying this, but honestly, it's a terrible product. I mean, it's meant for oily skin, okay? So then they added carrageenan, which is comedogenic. They added alcohol as a solvent, which, as we know, triggers free radicals in our skin. They've got the pigment CI42090, which is very high on the irritant scale. Now, don't forget, oily acne-prone skin is already inflamed. It's already sensitive. They use skin sensitizers. Yay! So they got eucalyptus, lemon, linalool, menthol, like they literally went to town on this product. And then the one ingredient that they needed, which was salicylic acid, the only good ingredient in this product, by the way, they put in at less than 1%. So it's not even very effective. This is terrible. Like, who formulated this? Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm sorry, I wouldn't buy this product. The next product here is AHA BHA cleanser. It could have been good, but
that it has glycolic acid plus lactic acid plus salicylic acid. But I do like the fact that glycolic is at a low percentage. And I also like the fact that this product is fragrance free. But then they went and added a physical exfoliator. And I know why they did it. Again, it's a marketing trick. People like to feel like something is happening. If they're scrubbing their skin, they feel tingling or pain or irritation, and they feel like something is happening. And so it is addictive, actually. It becomes a feedback loop because now your skin looks brighter and you're associating your bright skin with that feeling of scrubbing. And so you go and buy it again because you feel like you're doing something good for your skin. But in reality, you don't need that physical exfoliation. It can damage the skin and it's a marketing trick. You're getting enough benefit from the chemical exfoliation. You don't need those two. And that's the reason for this channel, so that you can pick out when something is worth your money and when it's just a trick.
Now, I did feel like I could either have just left the video at that point, but I feel like I haven't added enough value to you. And that's why I did want to discuss these major brands that I, would say to sidestep these particular products. So let's start off with Neutrogena Oil-Free Acne Wash. I just assumed that this would be a good product for oily, acne-prone skin. But again, it had fragrance in it, had menthol in it, had glycolic acid in it. So menthol is a sensitizer to the skin. Fragrance is your number one cause of contact dermatitis, and it's a co-sensitizer. This is the thing, there are 4,000 different fragrances, and you don't know how your skin is going to react, and you get delayed reaction. What's going to happen after years? I mean, menthol it just should not be in skincare either. Especially imagine your acne, oily prone skin, which is already inflamed. It's got free fatty acids that are going berserk in your skin, irritating your skin, leading to pigmentation and red marks. And then you go and put menthol on it, which is a sensitizer. It's just not a good idea, So avoid that one. Okay, so the next product is the Deep Clean Clay Mask plus salicylic acid. So the positives are 0.5% salicylic acid, which means it's anti-inflammatory at that percentage. This is basically a silicate of aluminium, and it has absorbing properties. It's also got glycerin, which is a moisturizer, and it's got panthenol, which is also an anti-inflammatory and a moisturizer. The negative, however, is they have fragrance. So they put fragrance in this, and they've got, again, menthol lactate, which again is a skin sensitizer. I think it's because of this cooling, refreshing feel to the skin, it sells the product, and people don't know actually that this is not good for your skin. It sensitizes the skin. It's also got glycolic acid in it. So now you've sensitized the skin and you've put glycolic acid. So glycolic acid and fragrance. If you watch enough of my videos, you will know it is my least favorite AHA because it's a tiny molecule, can fly through the skin and can burn the skin. And so you have to be very careful with lactic acid, with glycolic acid. I prefer lactic acid at about 5%. I love mandelic acid. These are other AHAs, and I love BHA, so salicylic acid. But glycolic acid, I tend to steer clear of for skin of color. So the next product we're going to talk about is a Bargi New Derm Foaming Gel. So the third ingredient is cocamido propyl betaine. So this is a booster of the lathering effect. So it's a gentle surfactant, and that's actually why people get a lot of satisfaction out of it when you're washing your face and you have that lathering effect. One of the reasons it has just so many positive reviews. It's generally considered low risk for sensitizing skin. However, you can get impurities from manufacturing, which can lead to sensitivity. However, I don't think that's going to be an issue with a Bargi. For some unknown reason to me, they've used 5 different forms of paraben. So it would have been fine if they just stuck with methyl paraben and ethyl paraben. That would have been fine. Instead, they also added propyl paraben, butyl paraben, which is a 7 out of 10 on the irritation scale, and isobutyl paraben, which is 8 out of 10 on the irritation scale. I don't really know why they did this. I'm not too fussed just because it's a wash-off product, not a leave-on product, but I was just a bit perplexed. In addition, they did decide in this product to add fragrance and pigment, which, as you know, I'm not a fan of. However, again, it's wash-off, so it's not such a big issue. Trio Blemish tackles all 3 blemishes and is a 4-piece kit. It's got your face wash, it's got your exfoliator, your AM gel, which is safe to use during the day when sun is hitting the skin, and your PM gel, which is really when you're combating the additional blemishes, and it's best to do at night time when there's no UV. That's why I created 2 different gel moisturizers for your face. So the routine is very simple. So in the morning, if you have very oily acne prone skin, then I recommend you use these 3 products together.
together. So this is your salicylic acid face wash, your exfoliator, I use salicylic acid, and then your AM gel moisturizer. And in the evening, you just swap out the AM gel moisturizer for the PM gel moisturizer. So again, face wash, exfoliator, and PM gel. It couldn't be simpler. I'm now going to go through the ingredients of everything. So starting off with the face wash. In this face wash, we put niacinamide to control sebum, salicylic acid to unclog the pore, glycerin to hydrate the skin. The biggest mistake that happens with salicylic acid is that it can dry the skin, and you don't want that. You want to use humectants in it. We also put acne calm in here, which it helps to poison the P. acnes bacteria. Then when you exfoliate, this has 2% salicylic acid, which is the ideal percentage when you're dealing with oily acne prone skin. It's also got 5% glycerin in it, so this doesn't dry your skin like most salicylic acid exfoliators. And we also put in here green tea extract plus sage, and that will basically calm the skin down when you are exfoliating, especially if you're doing it twice a day. Then moving on to your AM gel. In here, we've put in 2% niacinamide, which helps control your sebum production, 2% sodium ascorbate phosphate, so that's your water-soluble vitamin C, plus your 3% glycerin. So this is basically going to help you also hydrate the skin. I also loaded this with anti-inflammatories. Your skin is already inflamed from acne. So in here, we've got panthenol, green tea extract, allantoin, and arnica. Now, the PM gel is very exciting. The PM gel is loaded with your tyrosinase inhibitors, starting with your alpha-arbutin and your ferulic acid. Plus, it's got 2 forms of vitamin C. So it's got your sodium ascorbate phosphate, water-soluble vitamin C, and your tetrahexyldecyl-ascorbate, your fat-soluble vitamin C, which is why this also helps with scarring. I also put in niacinamide, which does multiple things. It helps with your controlling sebum production, but it also soothes the skin barrier and repairs the skin barrier and helps with red marks. And this has also got your retinol, your retinaldehyde, and it's also got ceramides, plus of course your acne calm. So we really did put a lot in this gel.
Superfood cleanser. Okay, so I like the fact that it's got gentle surfactants in it. So it's got sodium cocoyl glutamate, and it's got cocamidol propyl betaine. Now, cocoyl glutamate is actually derived from coconut oil, and cocamidol propyl betaine gives you a lathering effect, a very luxurious lathering effect, but it's also gentle on the skin. So I love those 2 ingredients. Now, how does a surfactant work? I think people sometimes don't know this. So basically, you have a water-loving head and an oil-loving tail. And what this allows to happen is to degrease the oil that's on the skin and emulsify it, and then allow it to be encapsulated and washed away. That's how a surfactant works. The other positives of this product is that they have soothers in them, and I love soothers. So soothers are things like aloe vera, D-panthenol. It's also got green tea extract. So these are all great for skin of color. And I also love the fact that they've managed to do the whole antioxidant combination. Remember, combinations of antioxidants are much better than mono antioxidants because it stabilizes them. It stops it from being oxidized in the jar before you actually put it on the skin. So here they've got ascorbic acid and tocopherol acetate. So they've done that. They've also got a very interesting ingredient. So they've put in Brassica oleracea, and this is actually broccoli extract. And this is quite interesting because it has a lot of benefits. It actually contains vitamin B1, 2, 3, 6, and also contains magnesium and also iron. So these are all very good for the skin. It's almost food for your skin. So I appreciate that they put that in. But then they went and added something that confused me, and that was natural essence. So natural essence often means essential oils. So with this particular product, I actually really like this product except for this one ingredient. And the problem with this ingredient is it can sensitize the skin. It can lead to cumulative damage over a long period of time. The positive is that this is a wash off, so it's not going to be as bad as if you'd left it on all night. And so maybe they can get away with it in this particular product. I would just say if you have sensitive skin or acne prone skin, which is basically inflamed skin, or any form of dermatitis, I would avoid anything that says fragrance in it, full stop. Although I love everything else in this product, it's a bit of a shame at the last hurdle. So moving on to my next product, which I really like, and that is Low pH Good Morning Gel Cleanser. So it's starting off with the positives, as always. It's got cocamidopropyl betaine, which is a very balanced, mild cleanser. It's also got sodium lauryl methyl isethionate, which has luxurious foaming capabilities, but is also quite gentle on the skin. It's also got butylene glycol, which is great. It's a moisturizer, it's a solvent, but it also helps other ingredients to penetrate faster and deeper into the skin. So it's also got Camellia japonica extract, which is an antioxidant, it's anti-pollution, and it's very soothing to the skin. It actually protects the fibroblasts from oxidative damage that happens from heavy metal pollutants in the air. And don't forget, your fibroblasts are needed for collagen. So if it's not clear, I would say bye, bye, bye. And I'm going to purchase this one myself too. The next one is neem and salicylic acid face wash. This is great for oily skin. There's no irritants in it. It is fragrance free. And the third ingredient here is glycerin. So it's hydrating. And that's the number one problem when it comes to salicylic acid. It can overly dry the skin if you don't have enough of a humectant in the formula. So your humectant is the water magnet, and here they've used glycerin, so I like it. Seaweed pore cleansing exfoliator, again perfume, linalool, so a lot of fragrance, so again I would avoid. The next one I'd avoid is the Body Shop Tea Tree. So it's got denatured alcohol in it, which, as you know, leads to a free radical party in the skin, and it's not a good party. It's not one that you want to be at because it can lead to premature aging, damages the collagen. So avoid anything or any product that has the word alcohol denat in it. The reason they're doing it is because it's a solvent. It tends to thin a thick product, but there are much better solvents out there. And again, they added menthol. The reason they're doing menthol is because it gives you that refreshing feeling. You know, you put it on your skin, you feel like you've woken your skin up, but you haven't. You've shocked your skin. Your skin is not happy. So please just avoid menthol in your skincare. And the last one I would tell you to avoid was Vichy Normaderm. So again, it's got perfume in it. This particular product actually had a lot right with the product. They just went wrong with the perfume step. That was the one thing that if they just removed that from that particular product, it would have been a great product.
Now you've finished this, you're gonna love this video.